Good evening, class. I'm bringing you greetings from the Texas flooded coast. I am going to talk to you about the discussion question number 2. So, after viewing preparing students for the digital age when it comes to what effective technology integration is or is not, and how is your understanding changed or expanded? Some things that were brought to my mind or things that I've said or believed previously that now I have some kind of, backing for is that integration is not about raising test scores or making your district necessarily look good because you have the most new and improved piece of technology, or you have one teacher in the whole school who has integrated technology in her classroom. It may or may not be done effectively in the classroom. One thing that was said in the video is that it should change how we teach, or it should give us like a safety net to teaching, not just something to replace teaching altogether. Also, it should not just be the new cool or fun technology. Like we read in our first discussion question for week 2, that having something fun or that is what seems to be engaging because everyone is completely engaged does not necessarily mean that it is being useful or effective to the student and or teacher. So fun does not equal learning or improvement. The second question was the strategies or standards for the Society of Technology and Education Standards for students. The two that I picked were digital citizenship. Students are responsible or recognize their responsibilities for the rights and opportunities for living, learning, and working in an interconnected digital world. They act and model in ways that are safe and legal and ethical. That comes directly from the website. Also, I chose number 6, creative communicator. Students communicate clearly and express themselves creatively for a variety of purposes, using the platforms, tools, styles, formats, and digital media appropriate for their goals. Those two I chose because we talked about them previously in week 1. Digital citizenship is very important and very imperative for our learners. We have learned that being creative and being a great communicator is necessary as well. We've talked about that in the previous readings from week 1, saying how we should be trying to teach the 21st century learner how to effectively communicate about platforms, politics, and how to effectively communicate those things that are near and dear to their heart without being harmful or hateful. So I think that is that, as well as being with digital citizenship and being a creative communicator, are all wrapped up into one. Having the appropriate tools and styles, knowing that you can't use the same language that you use with your peers that you would use for a professional forum, the way that you IM or instant message a person, a direct message, or use on Snapchat or your personal Facebook pages or social media platforms are not the same way in which you should communicate something that is important, or political views or civic views or civil views. So I think that is important. Looking at the 21st century framework, learning and innovation skills, we have to develop and implement communication and new ideas. That goes right back into what I just said about being a creative communicator, and to create new and worthwhile ideas. I think with the 21st century learner, because they are so digitally savvy, because everything that they kind of do now is digital. computers, laptops, smartphones, their gaming systems where they are in collaborative groups and they're communicating with each other in these collaborative groups to play things like Fortnite and all these other type of gaming systems, and they're problem solving in these things as well. So that goes to another standard, which is talking about being a thinker. So they have to be problem solvers and thinkers as well. So all that goes into play for our framework of the 21st century learner, going back into our standards as well. Thank you so much. I've answered all the questions. Hope you all have a great evening, and I look forward to your discussions.